Good evening, everyone, and welcome back again with another live show on the channel. It is the first England preview for the game tomorrow against Iran. 1 o'clock kickoff as well. And joining me is Chelsea fan Charlie. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, mate. I've made it back from Newcastle in one piece, and life's all right now. No Chelsea for 6 weeks, so I can focus on something different for a while because it's not been great. But thanks for having me as always, mate.
No problem at all. I know you were. I see how annoyed you were that that was another poor Chelsea performance. I could see, but it's a break from the Premier League this time because the World Cup is finally here. So, which kicked off the day in the first game, which Ecuador beat Qatar by 2-0. 2 goals from former West Ham player. I forgot his name.
And Valencia.
The Valencia, that's it. Yeah. So, but anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's preview, please do stick the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, of course, if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell because we'll let you know of any live shows as well. Feel free to donate. We do have Super Chat available as well, and click the join button to become a member for just 99p a month. So there you go. We'll just wrap through comment. Asherton, he wasn't impressed with Qatar and Ecuador. It was a very flat second half, I can tell you, which I've got to admit. So Ecuador easy winners, but the whole game, both teams didn't seem that good to me. Yeah, I agree with that as well. It was nice off the TV coverage of the opening ceremony to be cut so we could hear Lineker talking PC crap for 35 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so England, of course, get underway tomorrow. Are they going to kick off the tournament with a win?
Yes, I would expect so, but I think this game will be a lot closer than people think it will be. I think Iran. I'm by no means an expert on Iran, but I think Iran are a lot better than a lot of people give them credit for. They're a solid outfit. They're top 20 in the world. This England's group's the only group where all 4 teams are ranked inside the world's top 20. So technically, when you look at it like that, it should be the toughest group, but we know it's not. But it should be in theory if you look at it on world rankings. And in Carlos Queiroz, an experienced manager, a couple of decent players, Taremi, the Porto forward, Azmoun of Bayer Leverkusen, striker as well. Yeah. And they'll sit deep, they'll be solid, they'll be hard to break down, and the impetus will be on England to play on the front foot, which Gareth Southgate as a manager isn't known for. He likes to sit back, be quite defensive, play quite pragmatic football, which Iran will be more than happy to accept. I think Iran will look to hit England on the counter-attack. They'll look to take advantage of set pieces. And England are going to have to be patient, but they are going to have to play on the front foot. And it's not something we normally associate with Gareth Southgate's sides. But I think it'll be low scoring, but England, you would fully expect them to get a win to kick the tournament off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They should be beating Iran of all teams. People say, is it an easy group we've got? Well, that all depends how we are playing in this tournament because, as you've just touched on it, Charlie, England have just been so defensive lately. I mean, pretty much the UEFA Nations League, look how much of a farce that was. We picked up no wins and we got relegated down to the next division.
Yeah. As I say, like the form heading into the tournament has been poor. Obviously, off the back of a very successful European Championships, as we just fallen short. The Nations League campaign was dire, and people can say what they want about the Nations League. It's a shit tournament and whatever. Yeah, maybe so, but ultimately, it's still games of football, and in those games of football, we were terrible. Yes. No real positives, and the football, if we're being perfectly honest, under Southgate hasn't been great. It's always been pragmatic, as I said. It's always been set up not to lose rather than set up to win. But one thing I would say is that in the major tournaments, it's worked because we've reached a semi-final, we've reached a final. And it's the best we've done in a long time. But having said that, I think we are going to have to evolve slightly. We're going to have to adapt slightly, and particularly with teams that sit in deep, like Iran do, like Wales will do later on in the group stage. Maybe the US to a lesser extent. The impetus is going to be on us to break teams down. And for that, you've got to be a bit more attack-minded. And it's not something we necessarily see from England too often. So, look, as I say, this game should be a formality, really, if we're being honest. But football never works like that. And England are going to have their work cut out. And I think this group stage could be very similar to the group stage at the Euros, where a lot of uninspiring games kind of settled by the odd goal here or there. But it is really important with only 3 matches in the group that you get off to a winning start, because you drop points in your first game and you're on the back foot for the rest of the group stage straight away.
Well, that's it. I mean, you go back to, like, of course, the Euro final. We got the final and, of course, the semi-final in the last World Cup. And the fact is, England, when they do score, they do sit back. Of course, look what happened in extra time against Croatia in the semi-final. Of course, Italy, we didn't build on a 1-0 lead. They get the equaliser. We couldn't capitalise on getting another goal, take the penalties, and we were absolutely dog shit on penalties. So that has been England's downfall a lot of the time in terms of tournaments. Sitting back far too much. Surely Gareth Southgate's got to realise he cannot afford to do that as well, which is what we've been known time and time to do. And pretty much we did it in the UEFA Nations League, and look how massively it backfired on us. We were relegated down to the next division in this competition. So,
yeah, I think that the impetus is going to be on Southgate to try and find a more expansive way of playing, and I think it's criminal in my view to be playing the brand of football that we play with the players that we've got at our disposal. You know, we've got a crop of attacking players that I would say is second to none, if none, of the teams that are actually there. When you individually look at our group of attacking players as a unit, there may not be any better teams, or only a few teams that are better than us. And with the players we've got at our disposal, we should be playing much better football. And I know it's finding that balance between playing expansive football and kind of getting the results, but we shouldn't be playing so defensive with the players that we've got at our disposal. And you know, you can kind of get away with it at times against teams of a slightly worse quality than you. But time and time again, we've seen as England that when we face a decent team, we always come up short. And that's the reality of the situation. That's what it's been like. You know, in the World Cup, we had luck of the draw last time out. Every team we played that was good, we lost twice to Belgium and to Croatia. The Euros, kind of the same. I mean, I know we just scraped past Denmark, but that wasn't convincing.
It wasn't.
Italy, we should have beaten them, but again, on the back, were like just sat in for basic, defended for a whole game. Didn't work. We could have seen them off. We had them on the ropes there for the taking, but there's no point going over that again. We know that was a massive missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was.
So we've got to play more on the front foot, and we've got to just take more risks, I think, and just go for it a bit more, because, as I say, in this group, it's very open, and if England kind of continue their poor form from the build up to the tournament, they could find themselves in trouble in this group pretty quickly. If they don't get themselves together.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, because we've got to the semi-final, the last World Cup final in the Euros. May not be so lucky if England go to this game with that kind of attitude, but we just can't afford to do that. Ashton says, I saw people on Twitter saying Qatar paid Ecuador's second off not to humiliate them. I mean, it wasn't a good second off, I got to admit. If England's game is that flat, I won't bother watching them after tomorrow's game. There's some people who are not really excited about this World Cup. I've got to admit. I admit to myself, I haven't been looking that forward to like I had previously been. Like, why did it have to clash during the football season? Why did it go into Qatar of all places? Well, we know the reason for that. Because money it was. But that first goal choked off seemed suspect. I thought there was nothing wrong with that first goal that Ecuador scored as well.
I mean, ultimately, it didn't really make much difference in the end. But yeah, you think a little bit. I think just on the sort of the general feeling around the World Cup, I do feel like, as I agree with you, like, I'm not a massive international football lover. But normally, as I say, you're a bit more up for it. This one, because the build-up's been so dominated by things off the pitch and the host nation Qatar, you almost arrived at the football. Everything seems a bit flat. I'm sure once you get into it and the games start to pick up and they start coming thick and fast, that feeling might change a little bit. But I think it's a very flat feeling around what is a massive tournament.
Yeah, that absolutely. Yeah, Ashton says Gareth Southgate's football is depressing to watch. It has been, particularly in the away fish. It's not been good at all. Iran are well drilled. Don't expect an easy ride. They'll take work to break down. Yeah, absolutely. We need to play a more attacking football. We certainly do. It's just, what is Gareth Southgate's formations he's gonna pick?
He's going to He'll go three at the back, like always. He'll play what he knows and what's worked in previous tournaments, and I appreciate that, because why change what's kind of not, why change what's worked in the past. I appreciate that, and I get that from his point of view. But I think now, and I think it's not just a few people saying it, it's a general consensus within football that the players we've got at our disposal, that we should be playing a more attractive, a more pleasing on the eye, a more attacking brand of football. I'm not saying it's got to be amazing, but we've just got to play a bit more on the front foot, because I know tournament football is about peaking at the right time. You don't want to peak too soon. I mean, a lot of people were, myself included, I was hammering England in the group stage of the Euros. It was terrible. It was dire. And we went on to come very close to winning that tournament. So it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. But I think ultimately the start of the tournament does set the tone for how you go on. But we'll have to see. But the impetus will definitely be on him to try and play something a more attractive brand of football, because we have to with what we've got available, because we've got some of the best players in the world at our disposal. We've got to use them better.
Well, that's it. We do. I mean, I remember it was like Gareth Southgate was using in the last Euros, majority of his formations were actually 4-2-3-1. There was only 2 games I remember, which was, of course, the Germany game and the final, where you went 5 at the back, which... Well, Germany, it kind of worked in a way, but it didn't really for Italy, because we didn't capitalize after taking the lead there. That was the thing. So, I mean, I don't want to see 5 at the back. I mean, we should have enough players to go with a more of attacking force, like a 4-2-3-1, like a 4-3-3. But it's just, Gareth, is he going to use that?
I'd go 4-3-3 for sure, but I don't think he will use that. I mean, I could be proved wrong tomorrow, but I would expect first game of the tournament he's gonna err on the side of caution, like he always does. So I would fully expect to see the back 5. I would be very surprised if we saw anything different.
Yeah, that's the concern. I know the World Cup we would majority 5 at the back or 3 centre backs. In that tournament, so that was the thing. So yeah, if we don't get top of group stage, I already lose hope in Southgate already. I mean, if we have a poor World Cup, that's got to be the end of him, surely.
Well, I think whatever happens, regardless, it's the end of him. It's the end of him if we have a poor tournament. It's the end of him if we have a decent tournament. I think he's had a good run at things, and look, I'm kind of optimistic about England going into this tournament. I think there's a lower expectation given the form we had in the build-up, but of course that all changes as soon as you see the players touch down in Qatar. That expectation suddenly raises again. Whether it should or not is another thing, but it does. It's England. It's a major tournament. Everyone kind of gets behind it. But ultimately, I think you can't keep doing well in multiple, like in consecutive tournaments. You do come to a point where you fall short, and I think having had 2 good tournaments back to back, had luck with the draw and unfortunate circumstances in both, your luck does eventually run out. And I think this tournament, despite the quality England have got, is probably going to be is going to be one step too far for them.
Yeah, I've said I can't see us winning the tournament. I think it could be either France, Brazil, Argentina, one of those teams. I mean, it's just our fear for us if we do get past the group stage, who we get in the knockout stages. And if we get someone like a Brazil or a France, then we're not feeling much hopeful at all. That's the thing. So I don't watch as much England football as the Premier League. I prefer watching the club play more than international football, really. Win a World Cup, if we can't win it now, don't know when our time is due. That's the thing. See, we've come very close, but it's just the disappointment. We sit back, we concede, we're poor in a penalty shootout, majority 9 times out of 10, that's it. Luke, I hope you're well. Losing to USA or Wales would be the worst thing if that happens for me. Oh, absolutely. I remember 2010 World Cup, we got a draw against the USA.
That's when Rob Green done that.
Yeah.
Howler, wasn't it? Yeah.
And Wales in the Euro 2016, we only just scraped
past
minute. Them last minute.
I think it was Daniel. I think Daniel Sturridge scored.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I know that was under Roy Hodgson. That
was Hodgson back then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Southgate should have been sacked after parking the bus against Italy in the final. We certainly did do that because we were pathetic on penalties. well, particularly when Rashford, Sancho, and Saka all missed. That's what happened, and we didn't win the final. Eddie would be better than Southgate for England, but I don't want to lose him from Newcastle. No, City do not want to lose him from Newcastle the way he's doing well with us. That one game against Hungary, I saw was dreadful. I mean, in the UEFA Nations League, getting beat by Hungary twice, losing 1-0 away, but in our area, 4-0.
4-0 at Molineux.
I mean, that was just embarrassing. Well, again, we'll look at him. We'll discuss about his selection there, Southgate, which he gone for. A lot of the was saying yes, he deserves to be picked for the Euros. Like he did go with James Maddison. I'm glad he's given Callum Wilson a call up, Trippier, Pope, etc. But he has his favourites in there. I.e., Maguire is definitely one of them.
Maguire. Like, you could argue it's blind faith because Maguire's not played well for a while. He's not playing regularly for Man United. He's fourth choice centre back there, but Southgate's shown faith in him because of what he's done in an England shirt before for him. And I suppose you can't really, whatever you think of Maguire, you can't really knock him too much in an England shirt. He had a pretty good World Cup back in Russia. He made team of the tournament in the Euros last time out. So whatever you think of him as a footballer, and I don't think he's very good, but in an England shirt, he's delivered and he's proven that he can be relied upon. In particularly in major tournaments. Obviously, in that Nations League campaign, he was at fault for 2 of the goals in that 3-3 draw against Germany. But generally speaking, he's been pretty reliable in an England shirt. So I can understand why Southgate picks him. Southgate likes him, and you live by the sword and you die by the sword, and that could cost Southgate his job. That kind of blind faith in Maguire if he doesn't play well and makes errors. But I can understand why he's in the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Calvin Phillips, the guy's barely played for Manchester City.
But again, another one that because of what he did in the Euros, he's kind of shown to Southgate that he can do it on the big stage in a tournament. That's why he's in. He's played 50. I think he's played 53 minutes of football this season.
Yep.
But he still makes the squad. I think Ward-Prowse can probably feel a little bit hard done by. I know he's had a poor season for Southampton this season, but I think he can feel hard done by. But again, I think Phillips is in because Man City tax and because of what he's done in an England shirt before.
Yeah. He did have a good Euros last year as well. So, yeah, again, the same with Jack Grealish. Not had a good best of seasons at Manchester City, but you can understand why Southgate picked him. Did pretty well in the tournament last year. Saka definitely deserves his opportunity. I think the guy's been absolutely magnificent for Arsenal.
Yeah, no, he's at a very good tournament. I would expect him to feature more prominently, but that kind of right-hand side, I suppose, is kind of the only position in the England team that is pretty much up for debate. You could have Maddison there, you could have Foden, you could have Saka, you could have Rashford, you could have Grealish. Like, that's really the only place in the team where there's like a bit of a selection dilemma. The rest of it pretty much picks itself, either through lack of options or just through what they've done in an England shirt before and being a Southgate favourite.
Yep, absolutely. The one I'm looking forward to see what Jude Bellingham could do. I think he deserves a lot more game time. I think he should be a regular starter for me.
100%.
I think very talented young lad. You see what he could do for Borussia Dortmund as well, and he deserves his chance.
100%. My only concern for Bellingham is, and I think Bellingham's had an outstanding season, and this could be a real breakthrough moment for him on the big stage. I know he's announced himself at Dortmund in the Champions League. Hasn't quite announced himself for England yet. I know he's not got the most caps, but this is an opportunity for him now to really cement his place in the England midfield. My only concern is that once Calvin Phillips gets himself up and running and fully fit, that Southgate will just revert to type and not play Bellingham because he'll go with what he knows in Rice and Phillips, like a bit more security. He probably trusts it more. He's seen it work. That's my only concern, is that Bellingham might not get as many minutes as he should because of Southgate's kind of perhaps because of Southgate's negative management and what he's seen from Rice and Phillips before. He'll be desperate to play Rice and Phillips, in my opinion.
He possibly could do, or could it be Henderson again? Another one he goes with a lot. as well.
Possibly.
Even though he
But
did use Henderson a lot last tournament, didn't he?
I don't think. I think Henderson's purely there for kind of like leadership and what he brings off the pitch. Henderson's never been that good for England, really, if we're being honest. And he very much will be someone that will be used as a sub. He's just kind of there to make up the numbers, as it were.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. I'm up to. I like coffees in the house. Up you well. After seeing Qatar versus Ecuador, I missed the England Newcastle games. It wasn't the best of games. I didn't get to see the opening music show before the match. They decided to show the pundits. Yeah, that's not good. That these offside rules just keep making me wonder if there's more to learn in football, or whether the rules are just being made as they play along. I mean, again, I don't think that first goal for Ecuador, that score that was disallowed, was actually offside. And Valencia could have had a hat-trick in that game. So Patrick says, why is Rashford again? Southgate sees something in him. He hasn't had a bad season for Man United this season.
He's been okay, and I think he's got the nod because of his previous England experience, previous tournament experience. I feel like if Jared Bowen had got himself together and had a decent first half of the season for West Ham, he probably would have gone ahead of him. But the fact is, Bowen's been poor. So Rashford's got himself in because he's had a decent-ish first half of the season compared to players that he was competing with, the likes of Sancho, the likes of Bowen, and that's ultimately why he's gone.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So Valencia could have had a hat-trick and set the bar high for more prominent players. Yeah, he could have. When I was watching the game, I was wondering why there were so many empty seats, white seats, and then I realized they were fans. Yeah, they were actually. The Ecuadorian fans kept chanting, they want beer. They did. I mean, because they can't serve drink inside the stadiums over there, which is what was announced the other day.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't see that as too much of a big deal. I think that's quite common in a lot of European countries. It's only in the concourse, but what I would say is that I think what's more annoying is probably the assurances that they'd given beforehand that would have been fine. And Budweiser are sponsoring the tournament, paying probably a lot of money to be the main sponsor, and then their main product can't be served in the concourse. I think that's a bit annoying. And to do it 2 days before the tournament, if you like before the tournament started or whatever, like fine, just say it. People know when they get there. But to say 2 days before, that's the big problem for me.
Yeah, absolutely. They will give us herbal tea and pints instead. Good God. Maguire, yeah, we know why he's been picked. I can see a Dyer scoring on goals. Again, Eric Dyer, did he deserve his call-up as well?
Probably based on his Spurs form, just about. But ever since he's been recalled to the squad, he's dropped howlers for Spurs. So
he has.
Yeah, he won't start, in my opinion. It'll be like if it's a 3, it'll be Stones, Maguire, and Kyle Walker.
Well, I think Kyle Walker's not going to be available for the first game. Who's still
possibly. He's been training, so I'll be interested to see what he decides to go with.
So it could be Cody, it could be Ben White.
I'd personally go with Ben White. He's in the best form this season out of Cody and out of Eric Dyer and stuff.
I think he's had a fantastic season for Arsenal as well. Even though he's been playing majority as a right back in that role.
Yeah, it's really good season for Arsenal so far.
Absolutely, really, really has. He's been magnificent. That's why Arsenal, they're there at the top for a reason.
Yeah.
That's it. I saw someone use a Coca-Cola sleeve to cover a beer, can make it look like a Coca-Cola can. Wow. The Qatar fans try to do the Iceland Viking clap. I think it's it. What sort of temperature will it be when we play? Oh, Jesus.
30 odds, like high 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
Yep. What team shirt is that on Charlie's door?
It's
Chelsea.
It's a Chelsea shirt, Zola. I think it's like it's 90. I think it's 99 third kit.
Oh yes, I think I remember that one as well.
Yeah,
I remember Zola when he was playing for Chelsea at the time. He was a cracking player. I thought. I saw an Argentina topping the Qatar fans. I think Qatar fans left at half time. I mean, they weren't very good the day. I've got to admit. So, and Ashton says round about the 30s as well, definitely. I think we know who the goalkeeper, who Southgate's going to select as his goalkeeper. for the tournament. We know it's probably going to be Pickford.
Yeah.
I mean, another one, he has howlers for Everton, but again, he doesn't play so bad for his country, I think, as well.
No, I think Pickford in an England shirt hasn't done anything wrong, if I'm being perfectly honest. I personally think between the three of them, Ramsdale, him and Pope, there's not really that much difference between the three of them as goalkeepers. It's fairly even. Pope, when he had an opportunity, did make a couple of mistakes in the Nations League. That's not the end of his England career by any means, but and Ramsdale hasn't really been given much of a chance. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be Pickford, and I think Pickford in general in the tournaments has had good tournaments for England. So yeah, no issue with him in the sticks for me.
No, yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I know he has hung a clangers there for Everton, but again for England, he doesn't really put a foot wrong. I think I said I'd love it to be Pope, because I know it not just because I'm a Newcastle fan, but I think he's just had a magnificent season.
Yeah.
For us, if you need him on penalty shootouts, look what he did against Crystal Palace. For us, well, again, Ramsdale's had a fantastic season at Arsenal as well. So Qatar never qualified, not surprising. Yeah, that's Pickford is used to having poor centre backs in front of him years in a way. Pickford's just a little T-Rex. I know we like to call him that. Apparently, the Iran keeper has a massive throw, good for their counter attack.
No,
we've got to make sure we're aware of that as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. We have to. We've got to be wary of everything.
Yeah, the Qatar fans singing the whole game are being paid to try and create atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, who's going to be the starting right back or the wing back, whatever?
I think. Well, Carl Walker's played I think he's done all the training sessions. So he must be. He's obviously not match fit in terms of he hasn't played any matches for a while. He's obviously in full training and just showing no obvious signs. So I would expect it to be Kyle Walker. But then if it's not Walker, I think he'll go Trippier on the right hand side and probably play. Well, I'd play Ben White if it was to go as a 3 in as centre backs. But what I imagine will happen is if he goes with a 3 and Walker's not fit, he'll play Eric Dyer.
Could possibly. I think Trippier should be starting on that right hand side, whether it's at the right back or right wing back as well. And another one you've got if you need him for set pieces as well.
Yeah.
Free kicks.
Set pieces for us and England. Set pieces will be important in this tournament.
That's absolutely. What I'm a bit. Why we've only gone with one recognised left back in Luke Shaw?
Because he was good. Because he's picked Kieran Trippier to basically play on that left hand side.
He could play him there. I don't want to see Alexander-Arnold ahead. See, I like his attacking, but he just can't defend at all.
The defensive side of the game for Trent is a problem. We know how talented a player is. He's got immense ability, but I think, Southgate doesn't trust him in an England shirt. And like Trent, I still think has got a very good England career ahead of him. He's still young. He can still learn and add a lot of defensive and improve on that defensive side of his game. But ultimately, Southgate doesn't trust him, and he likes to go with his tried and tested and what he knows. And unfortunately, under Southgate, Trent isn't really part of the first team plans.
No, he's not really, is he? I mean, look, I forgot what there was a comment that come out that said about Trippier being ahead of him. I forgot the full full story on that, but it was something like that. I think they should look to try and change Alexander-Arnold's position. He can't do it at right back. Like a right midfielder would be good for him.
Yeah, possibly. It's hard to tell. I think his defensive side of the game will improve. But at the moment, as I say, he's just not in favour under Southgate. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. But Callum Wilson, I think, for me, I know because he plays for my club, he's deserved his call-up for this tournament as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he can score goals, definitely, if he's in the right place. You give him the service. He could certainly tuck them away, definitely, but not going to get ahead of Kane in terms of the start lineup. That's the thing. But I want to bring off the bench, definitely, if England need to grab themselves another goal in particular. Callum Wilson could do that if you give him service. You put balls in for him, he's there. That's what he thrives off as well.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for the likes of Wilson or Ivan Toney, if he'd been picked, or whoever that backup striker is, they know that unless Kane gets injured, they're going to see absolutely no minutes. It's and that's the reality of the situation, or very few minutes. You know, the game's wrapped up with 2-3 up with say 10 minutes to go. They might not. They'll probably get 10 minutes at the end to give Kane a rest, but it's really tough for centre forwards, English centre forwards, because unfortunately Harry Kane is the best. And when you only play one centre forward, he's always going to play.
Yeah, absolutely. They had Indian fans in England tops as well. I've seen that. If Trippier played for England the way he does for the Toon, he will be mint. I think not just Trippier's a quality player, but he's also a leader for me as well. He knows he's not frightened to bollock and get into players if they're not performing.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. I love to get paid to sing. I don't have the best singing voice, so says I like Coffee. I think the Indian fans support the teams that have their favourite players. Yep, that's right. Nothing wrong with that, to be honest. There isn't, but it's just seemed obvious with all the country fans being like that. Not it bothers me, but it's noticeable. They look paid, possibly.
Yeah, they've bought loads of. I think though, because of how close, like, you know, the likes of India, like countries like India, etc., are to Qatar. A lot of fans are coming over from those countries, buying tickets and supporting whatever national teams they want, which is why you are seeing so many kind of, you know, Indian fans over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just read that one. I'm okay with Wilson not playing too much. Don't want him injured, but still happy for him to get in the squad. Absolutely, we do have that worry because he is known to be very injury prone, Callum Wilson, as well. But I don't think he's not going to get a lot of minutes there, definitely. Apparently, the new migrant staff working outside the stadium have been struggling with the heating and lack of water. Jesus. Wilson will get 19 minutes if that. That's a possibility as well, definitely. So we know probably Sterling's going to get a start in the tournament as well. Again,
he's been in poor. I've watched him a lot this season, very closely. I haven't been to a lot of Chelsea games, and you know he's been really poor this season. But like when we went, like heading into the Euros last year, he went into that tournament off the back of a poor season for Manchester City, and he basically carried us to that final pretty much with his goals and his performances. So Sterling in an England shirt seems to be a slightly different animal, and for what he's done in previous tournaments, he will start.
Oh yeah, he will do. The real question is, will they get breaks for what if it's?
Oh yeah, I think they definitely will.
Oh, they've got to. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they will. I can't see how they wouldn't.
I mean, but when you had like the lack of water, they're not getting. I mean, and heat like that.
Yeah, there's still. I think by all accounts, there's a lot of things that need to be sorted out.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, they will still get to do that.
Yeah.
So, as well. So. Right, what we'll do is we'll run through the predicted lineup as well. What we think Gareth Southgate's starting 11 is going to be. Flight tickets from India to Qatar are £121 to £151. That's a bargain, that I've got to admit.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
Paris says I want Foden to start. I mean, he's been so good for Manchester City.
He has, but if we're being honest, Foden in an England shirt has not been that great, and I think that's a big thing that Southgate needs to try and work out, is how to get the best out of Foden in an England shirt, because it's not happened yet.
No, it really hasn't. I mean, if he only start one game in the 1 or 2 games in the last Euros. He started the first game against Croatia. He hit the post in that game, so he was unlucky not to score in that one. But Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of England starts.
No,
That's
he
the thing.
doesn't. He doesn't.
Come on, England. Come on, Iran. No, I don't want to lose to Iran. We all don't. As I said, we should be looking to win that
Yeah.
game. Right. So we're going to run through the predicted lineup. So we're thinking Gareth Southgate's still going to go with his 3 centre backs. So I've been looking at, he's been playing like a 3-4-2-1 formation. So it looks like he is probably going to be going with that. So let's get into it. So you started with you, Charlie. We know who's going to be the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Pickford's going to be in goal. We discussed that before. We know that's going to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely. As well, right? We'll go into the 3 centre backs then. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to go in the right centre back. I'm going to go with this man. Yeah, I don't think Walker's going to make this game just yet. Wait till he's fully fit. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I think a 0-0 draw. So I'm going to go with this man here to play in the right centre back spot. So I'm going to go with Ben White.
Yeah.
I would like to see him given an opportunity. I think he's been fantastic for Arsenal as well. He could certainly bomb down there if he needs to.
I mean, if Kyle Walker's not fit, I haven't heard anything or come across anything to suggest that he's not going to start this game, then I would then go with Ben White if Walker's not fit to start for sure, because he's in really good form for Arsenal and deserves an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 0-0 draw, 3-0 to England. Not to England. Maguire and Shobit or Carlos definitely going to start. Yeah, possibility as well. Okay, Charlie, who's taking another role in the centre back role?
John Stones will probably play in that central centre back role. I think very good defender. Big fan of his. Well, probably I could argue England's best defender. I would probably say. So yeah, he definitely slots in.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the last one to take the last, I think we know it. It's going to be this.
Yeah, it's going to be Maguire. Yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely. So there you are. Right, we'll go into the wing back position. So who's going to take that right hand side?
Well, I would have played Kyle. I would have played Trippier there. So yeah, Trippier for me, or Kyle Walker if he's fit. I probably would have played him there and played Ben White in the middle. But yeah, Trippier will play on that right hand side. I would expect.
Yeah, I think it's Trippier deserves to be starting for me definitely. And last player, to take that left back spot of the wing backs. I think it'll be that man.
Yeah, it'll be Luke Shaw. We haven't got anyone else. So
well, that's it. That's the only recognised left wing back we've got there is Luke Shaw. I mean, I thought he was great in the Euros. I've got to admit. So
yeah, no, he was good.
He was fantastic.
Good. Yeah, very good. And he's had an all right season for United so far as well. And I think in an England shirt, he's not performed that badly. So yeah, he'll start at left back in this game. I'd expect.
Yeah. I think Trippier will start bloody slabhead. Yeah, that says Shaw. That's a cement. I think Shaw's been a very good player. He can be made of glass half the time because he is known for bad injuries.
He is.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's go for the two in midfield. So who's taken one of the spots in there, Charlie?
Oh, it's got to be Rice, baby. Declan Rice is gonna play for sure. I think he's one of the best holding midfielders in the world at the moment. This is another big tournament for him, a big opportunity to announce himself on the world stage at a very good Euros. England's best holding midfielder comfortably. So yeah, he definitely takes one of those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And alongside him,
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Bellingham. I would like to see this lad start. I think he deserves the opportunity now. For me, get him in there.
Yeah, and we don't need two defensive-minded midfield players against Iran. So, and given the fact Calvin Phillips' lack of minutes and stuff, and Bellingham's form this season, Bellingham has to start this game.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, right into the two that just are going to play behind the striker. So, who's going to take one of those roles there, Charlie?
It's going to be Raheem Sterling. As we touched on, very good form in an England shirt. Southgate trusts him. He's delivered for England multiple times in the past. So yeah, it'll be Sterling.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, he could get his form back, because it hasn't been good enough for Chelsea. Well,
No, it's been poor.
You've seen it there, Charlie, because since he's playing for your club, and you've just said it's not been impressive. But Euros last year, he was fantastic. Hopefully, we can see that back from him definitely, and see if he can get back to his form again. Right, last one, and I'm gonna go with this man. I'm gonna go with Bukayo Saka. I think another one he's been fantastic for Arsenal. Pick players who have been on form as well. This guy's lightning when he's on the ball. He's hardly anyone can stop him a lot of the time. That is the thing, and I think Saka deserves a start for tomorrow.
I think Southgate will pick Saka, but I would personally go with Grealish based on two things. One being the fact that Iran are going to sit deep. Grealish is some of his best attributes are like how good he is on the ball. He constantly wins fouls. I think set pieces are going to be very important. He draws defenders out. He creates a lot of space for other players as well. So for kind of those reasons, I would pick Grealish, because I think set pieces are going to be very important, and creating space is going to be important. I think his attributes suit that, but I fully expect Bukayo Saka to play, and ultimately I wouldn't have any issue with Saka playing. But if I was picking the team, I would personally play Grealish for those reasons. But again, I think it'll probably be Phil Foden, if we're being honest.
It could be him as well. So you never know. We're just thinking who it could be. So it could be anyone, but I wouldn't mind
them. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Bukayo Saka. The last position up front, Charlie, we know who it's going to be.
It's going to be Kane, and it's a big tournament for Kane as well. Golden Boot winner last time out in Russia, so his goals are going to be crucial to realistically how far England go in this tournament. If he's firing and doing well, then England have got half a chance. If he's not, then or he gets injured, then we're in big problems.
Yeah, so that's it. So that is the lineup that we have gone with. So I said it's going to be Pickford, the back three of White, because we don't think Walker's going to be back yet. John Stones, Maguire, the right wing back Kieran Trippier, left wing back Luke Shaw. The two midfield are being Rice and Bellingham. The two behind the striker. I've said Saka. Charlie's went for Grealish, and we believe the other one will be Raheem Sterling. And up front, it's going to be Harry Kane. So up to me comments. Don't matter who plays for England. Iran going to win with the help from VAR and the ref. God, I hope not. Who's the ref going to be? I've not actually checked who it's going to be this time. So Rafael Klarasev, and he's already given 5 red cards this season. Interesting. So Rafael Klaus is the referee. Grealish will be on the Budweiser if he scores. Hopefully we can see. I mean, I thought he was unlucky not to get a goal in the last Euros. Maybe it could be his opportunity this time. So we're just going to wait and see, I suppose. Right, final part. The score prediction. So we'll start with you, Charlie. Score prediction. Who's getting the goals for England?
I don't think this is going to be a great game. I'm being perfectly honest. I think it'll be very tight, very cagey affair. Iran will sit back. We'll have to break them down. We'll go 1-0 England. I'm going to go with a Harry Kane goal.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll just win the game by a goal to 0. I know we won by a goal to 0 in the first game in the Euros.
Yeah.
When Raheem Sterling scored. The ref is I can't read that properly. Patrick scored 1-1. I'm going to go 4-2-0 England. I'm going to see goals from Kane and Sterling. So I think if we get the win, that would be a good start. Let's just see how we are going to progress throughout the rest of the tournament and see where we will end up after the group stages. So Ashton here said he's going 3-0, like you said before, as well. Right. Of course, there'll be no watch along because with it being a game during the day, which means I'll not get to do watch along due to work. But I will be looking to do like a match review of the game as well. So I can see who can join me for that one as well. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that coming as well. Are you doing any coverage for the England games there, Charlie, while they're on?
Yeah, I will be on the channel. Doing match previews, match reviews. They're probably not live. Just because not so much to talk about in the early games, but once it gets to the bigger games, then obviously I'll do those live, and a few watch-alongs planned. Probably England against USA on Friday will be be a watch along, possibly England Wales as well. And yeah, it depends kind of what big matches come up in the tournament. So yeah, plenty of watch alongs, match previews, match reactions, that sort of thing. So yeah, a lot of content is planned for the World Cup.
Nice one. Yeah, well, I've dropped Charlie's channel in link in the description, the Blues Brothers. So feel free to check them out and subscribe. Are you on the way to 2K subs now?
Yeah, almost there, man. About 50 more. So hopefully reach that during the World Cup. Almost at that 2,000 mark. So yeah, any new subscribers would be greatly appreciated as always.
That'd be nice one. Again, link for the Blues Brothers channel is down in the description. So feel free to drop Charlie's channel a subscribe as well, definitely. Right, that is it for tonight's preview. Again, if you have enjoyed, please do stick the thumbs up. Of course, hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you're new to the channel or if you join the content and you're not yet subscribed, hit the notification bell because it will let you know of any live shows or any videos uploaded as well. You can still donate as well. Feel free to, again, become a member of the channel as well. Definitely. Okay, guys, we shall see you all later. And again, let's just hope England kick off the tournament with a win. Get the red and white flag out. Absolutely. I think I'll definitely be on me. I've got definitely be on me shirt on tomorrow there. That's the thing. So, anyway, well, guys, see you all later. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. See you later.